In the hills near Fenoli, William lived quietly among the faithful, shaped by prayer, labor, and obedience. Born to no fame, he learned early that holiness grows through submission, not force, and that God acts most clearly through the lowly. He sought no authority and claimed no visions, yet his life followed the rhythm of the church. Fasting, travel, and service marked his days as he moved between villages, trusting providence to guide each step without promise of safety or reward. On one winter journey, William traveled with a humble donkey, carrying what little he owned. The road was narrow and isolated, known for theft. Night approached, and the stillness concealed intentions unseen, testing the quiet trust he carried within him. He did not turn back, nor did he prepare defense. His confidence rested not in strength, but in God's governance over all encounters. The journey continued in silence, each step forward drawing him nearer to an hour already appointed by heaven. William's life had taught him that obedience often leads into danger before deliverance appears. Scripture heard in youth shaped this certainty. What was about to unfold would not exalt him, but reveal the measure of divine authority at work alone there. The donkey walked steadily beside him, unaware of what waited ahead. In such ordinary company, God prepared an extraordinary sign. No prayer was spoken aloud, no gesture made, only faithful movement through a road soon to be broken by violence. Those who would emerge from the darkness did not yet know whom they faced. Heaven allowed the moment to ripen. The encounter would not be long, but its meaning would endure, carried forward as testimony rather than legend within the church. So ends the calm before intervention. What follows is not a tale of force, but of mercy expressed through unexpected means. The road, the donkey, and the servant would soon stand within God's decisive action under his sovereign will revealed there. As William advanced into the narrow pass, figures
Stop right there!
Their intent was plain, shaped by hunger and lawlessness. They spoke little. The road, once silent, became charged with threat, and heaven permitted the danger to fully surface. They seized the donkey first, striking it violently to force surrender. The animal cried out and collapsed under the blow. William did not flee. He stood still, not paralyzed by fear, but fixed in the acceptance long formed through obedience. One blow tore the donkey's leg from its body. The attackers laughed, certain the moment was theirs. Blood marked the ground. The violence appeared final, and nothing remained that suggested resistance or reversal within natural measure. William bent down and took the severed limb into his hands. He did not strike in anger, nor cry out in rage. The act that followed was not born of intent, but allowed by divine permission, unfolding in silence. With measured movement, he raised the limb and stepped forward. The attackers hesitated. What they faced did not resemble resistance, but authority expressed through obedience. Fear entered where mockery had ruled only moments before. He advanced once and again. The men retreated, not overcome by strength, but undone by what they could not comprehend. No blow landed. The road itself seemed to reject them as they fled into the darkness. William did not pursue them. He let them go, as judgment was not his to execute. The danger passed as suddenly as it had come, leaving silence, bloodied ground, and a lifeless animal beside him. The moment seemed finished, yet it was only half revealed. What lay before him was not an end, but a threshold. The same God who allowed the wound would now reveal mercy beyond human expectation. William stood beside the fallen donkey as night closed in. He examined the wound without haste, understanding that what had been permitted by God would also be answered by God, not through skill, but through obedient action alone and unafraid in silence. He placed the severed leg against the torn body with care. No invocation was spoken aloud. His hands moved simply, as a servant awaiting command, trusting the Creator who binds flesh and restores life beyond all reason. Present there now, alone quietly. What followed did not resemble healing as men expected. The limb joined without resistance. Bone, sinew, and skin answered order unseen, as if creation itself remembered its beginning and obeyed its Lord at once, completely restored before him there. The donkey stirred, breath returning steadily. It rose upon restored legs and stood firm. No trace of injury remained. God's mercy was made visible, not for display, but for continuation of the road entrusted to them alone by grace there. William neither celebrated nor delayed. He gave thanks inwardly and prepared to depart. The miracle demanded movement, not rest. Obedience required him to continue, carrying the sign forward quietly, without gathering witnesses or acclaim from others, unseen by crowds nearby. The road received them again as before, silent and narrow. Nothing outward announced what had occurred. Yet heaven had spoken decisively, joining judgment and mercy in a single moment, hidden from all but the faithful alone there, unseen by men. This sign was not given to glorify the servant, but to confirm God's dominion over harm and fear. What had been broken was restored, showing that no violence exceeds the authority permitted by heaven alone, unquestioned, their presence still now. William departed with the donkey at his side, leaving no monument behind. Only the path remained. What God had revealed would endure, carried not in stone, but in testimony, preserved by the church through time, faithful memory, and witness alone. William continued his journey without seeking explanation or audience. The sign he bore was not proclaimed by voice, but by faithful persistence. Those who later encountered him sensed restraint, as if something weighty had passed through him and moved onward unseen. In villages along the road, he spoke little of what occurred. He offered no account unless pressed, and even then, his words directed attention away from himself. He named no power but God, no merit but obedience alone. Those who heard the account struggled to grasp it. Some doubted quietly, others believed without demand for proof. The church did not require spectacle. It received the testimony as it always had, weighing fruit, not astonishment, over time. William's manner did not change. He did not assume authority nor attract followers. His path remained narrow, marked by labor and prayer. The sign followed him invisibly, confirming not status, but God's nearness within ordinary obedience. Some who had known the violence of the road understood the mercy more clearly. They recognized that judgment had been withheld. The attackers vanished into obscurity, spared not by weakness, but by restraint permitted through divine will. The restored animal became part of the testimony. It labored again without defect, bearing burdens as before. No scar marked its body. What had been taken and returned stood as quiet proof of mercy's completeness. William allowed others to speak when they wished. He did not correct embellishment publicly, trusting the church to preserve truth through discipline. What mattered was not precision of detail, but fidelity to what God had accomplished alone. Thus the sign moved outward, not by force, but by remembrance. It entered the life of the faithful gradually. What began on a dark road now lived within ordered memory, awaiting its place among testimonies preserved by the church. William's life returned to its quiet course. No further sign marked his days, yet the earlier mercies shaped all that followed. he remained faithful in lesser tasks, knowing that God's greatest works often pass once, then instruct a lifetime. The Church preserved the account without embellishment, recording not wonder, but order. What mattered was not the violence endured, nor the restoration witnessed, but the obedience that allowed God's will to act without obstruction or self-claim. Those who heard the testimony were instructed quietly. They learned that holiness does not command events, but receives them. The sign taught restraint, patience, and trust, offering assurance that God governs even when the road appears abandoned. William was not remembered as a defender or avenger. He was recalled as one who did not resist God's unfolding purpose. Through him, judgment paused and mercy advanced, revealing authority expressed through submission rather than command. The donkey, restored and long since gone, left no trace in earth. Yet its healing endured in memory, teaching that creation responds when its maker wills. What was broken obeyed restoration without delay or argument. This account was received not as legend, but as witness. It strengthened faith among the humble, warning the proud. God's mercy was shown to exceed violence, and his authority to surpass fear without noise or spectacle. William's obedience remained the final lesson. He departed this life, as he had lived, without monument or claim. The Church remembered him only insofar as he pointed beyond himself to the God who acts. Thus, the testimony rests, not in strength nor in marvel, but in faith rightly ordered. Through Blessed William of Fenoli, the Church confesses again that God alone heals, governs, and restores all that he permits to be broken.